It's Tuesday morning. Welcome to another episode of Live Drive with your host. That's me, Sean Donohue. How's it going, guys? How you doing? It's Tuesday morning. I started doing these Tuesday morning live drives, and I get so many responses and DMs and just great feedback from it, so I just wanted to keep it going. Today we are going to talk about a really serious topic, something that everybody watching this I know can relate to. I'm going to tell 3 very personal stories, each with a really powerful takeaway. The question that today's episode is going to revolve around is, how did you respond? Past tense. How did you respond when your life blew up? How did you respond? Now, before you tune out or before you dismiss that, let me tell you something. If you are over 27 years old, you can answer that question. Why 27? Why that number? Because adult life is hard. Things will not go our way. There is pain and turmoil and disappointment at every turn. If you haven't had that in your life, it means either you are young, you are not paying attention, you are zoning out, avoiding, self-medicating, or your eyes are not open to the families and the friends in your life, and you're missing, what is really going on in your world. Because if you really open your eyes, you do not need to look very far to see that people are hurting everywhere. I want to tell you 3 quick stories in this live drive. And like I said, each of them has meaning and purpose to it, and each of them has a takeaway. Recently, I was sitting in a really cool, casual environment with my wife and a bunch of friends. And it was all like good times, laughter, talking about positive things. It was kind of like a party atmosphere. And there was a woman there in the group who was kind of new to us and to the group. And she started sharing some things about her life, some personal stories about some hardships. And then she kind of stopped, and her spouse said to her, I didn't know how deep you were going to go with this. I thought you were going to go all the way. And so I'm sitting here as a listener, literally drinking a beer at the time, just chilling, and wondering what is going on here. Why did this person just say this to their spouse? And then I found out why. It's because this woman at that time decided to open up and tell us some very personal, private things that were happening in her life. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what this woman said. But what she said was so deep and so full of pain and honesty and realness. And what I think the most remarkable part about what she said is that, listen to this. She said, I've never told anybody this. Even our friends and family do not know this. Now, this was a new friend. And so I'm feeling a lot on the inside. First, I'm feeling shocked, because that's like, in our culture, it's like, it was a jump, right? From like chilling to now we're like talking about serious stuff. And when I say serious stuff, we're talking like level 10 seriousness. And so all of us, including me, we had to make a shift in our minds. Like, what's happening right now? This person is sharing about how they're having really dark, serious, suicidal thoughts. About how really starting to plan it out. Have talked to other people about how, she can do this and about what it would mean. And then she drops this bomb, that she hadn't shared this with anybody. And so I'm feeling shock, and then it quickly turns to feeling honored. And then it quickly turns to feeling connected. Why do I feel connected? Because that's usually what happens when somebody is real and vulnerable. You know, you enter into their life, into their story, and you just like, you connect with them as a human being, and that feeling of honor that I feel special that this person would keep it real with me. How do you respond? How did you respond when your life blew up? Well, we know how this one woman responded, is that she decided to share it with some people that she trusted. Now, I said props to this woman because I felt like I affirmed her. I said some nice things, and one of the things I said was like, look, this is like a cool new stage for you, that you're really like embracing this part of your story and you're not stuffing this anymore. Like, you've shared it with your spouse, you've shared it with your own children, and now you're sharing it with us, people who you kind of don't really know and you just met, and that is really good. That is really healthy. How did you respond when your life blew up? We learned from this story here today, because I have two more, about the power of vulnerability. Be vulnerable with people that you trust, who are safe people. Do not stuff your life, my friends. Story number 2 started about 9 months ago when we were again having a really social time with some new friends. So these stories are similar in this way. And these people, this young couple, childless couple, decided to share with us what was real in their life. And the takeaway from this story is different than the first. They decided to share with us, as they were holding back tears in a public setting, in a kind of a social environment, the pains that they are experiencing trying to have a baby and being unsuccessful. They shared about how much they want a baby, how hard they've been trying, and just to see, every month it not being real, not becoming real, not becoming pregnant. Now, the takeaway that I want you to take from this is actually something that I said to them recently. We were in a social environment with them. Oh, the light's getting really bad right now. Let's see here if I can fix that. We were in a social environment with them, and what would be socially appropriate at this time would just be keep talking about fun social things, right? Just keeping it, surface level, sports, weather, fun times. It's like a social thing. And so part of me wanted to just keep it social and keep it, on that chill vibe with them. But part of me wanted to send a message to them. And so I teach communication, I coach communication, I do all types of things. And what I said was to them in this environment was a little bit hard for me to say. And it was definitely kind of like making a scene. And honestly, when I said it to them, I was a little concerned that, it might not go well. It might not have been received well. What I said to them here I am, imagine myself literally standing in a circle with this young couple and other people. And I said to them, hey, I love being here with you guys. It says something like this, right? This is the short version. I love being here with you guys and just having a good time. And, we're talking about this and we're talking about that. And I literally, told them what we were just talking about. And I love this. But I just want you to know that I remember, what you shared with us several months ago about how your story and about what you're going through. And I just want to let you know that, Danielle and I, we love just having a good time and, kind of being social and laughing and talking about these things. But we also really, value keeping it real and honest in our relationships. Sorry about the lighting there. And so if you wanted to talk about, how you're doing, how you're coping and how things are going with, what you guys are going through, I just want you to know, like, I would be down for that. Like, we can do that now if you'd like to, or anytime today. Yet at the same time, if you don't want to, because we're just like having a good time here with some friends, then that's okay too. So what I wanted to do by saying that is I wanted to connect. I wanted to be real, and I wanted to make myself available to her, to let her know that I was thinking about her, but I wanted to put the ball in her court. And I think that, like, this is like a really great, it felt good coming off, because I kind of it wouldn't have felt right to just go through a whole day just talking about, like, stupid stuff or laughing or superficial things. It just wouldn't have felt right. It would have felt like I'm just living in this like fake relationship where I know, these friends are kind of going through something serious, and we're just like fun friends. We're not like the serious friends. And I'm like, that's not the type of friends. That's not the type of friend I want to be. That's not the type of friend that I want to have. And I wish that somebody had told me this kind of communication tool earlier. And so I'm just sharing this tool with you. Story number 3. Hey, I see a lot of people waving in. Thank you for waving in. This is a live drive, so I got to keep my hands free. I got to keep my eyes on the road. This is the time once a week for me to really share stories with you, to share communication tools, parenting tools, marriage tools. And so if you ever wanted to, contact me or DM me and say, hey, maybe you can make a live drive about this, or hey, can you answer my question? I would be down for that. Story number 3 wraps up our live drive with Sean for today, and it's actually a personal story. The theme of today, if you're tuning in late, is how did you respond? How did you respond when your life blew up? Now, why do we put children through fire drills in school? Here in California, not only do we have fire drills, but we have earthquake drills. Why do we do this? Well, we do this because we as adults know how scary a fire is. We as adults know we want to teach our children how to be prepared for a big earthquake or a big, chaotic mess. We as adults know the best time to train for when life gets hard is actually not when life is hard. The best time to train and to be prepared for when life is hard is when life is good. The best time to watch a video like this and to get prepared for hard times is when your life is good. Now, what happens is in our culture, we actually do the opposite. When our life blows up is when we reach out for help. It's when we start going to church. It's when we start praying. It's when we start going to therapy. It's when we start doing all these things. And that's fine, and that's cool. That's what kind of like they're there for, in a sense. Partly about what I do is, in a sense, I'm a first responder, right? People call me when their families are falling apart, when their kids are out of control, when their marriages are falling apart. Yeah, those people are not going away. But it's interesting, the best time to grow and to gain knowledge and to prepare is when life is good. When you have, peace in your mind. I like to tell this kind of silly metaphor. If I was in World War I probably would have been a chaplain. Okay? I like to make believe that when I watch these war movies, I'd be like some heroic figure with the guns and the muscles. But in reality, with my skill set, I'd probably be most beneficial to an army to be a chaplain. And in World War I, they had trench warfare. Okay, so you got men in the dirt, and they're getting shot at. Now, let's say a man goes to me, the chaplain, with his gun and dirt all over his face, and he says, hey, Chaplain Sean, hey, Chaplain Coach, hey, family coach, I'd love to talk with you about something. Okay, yeah, what's going on? As we have to raise our voices because the bullets are going by. I'd love to talk with you about how I can improve my marriage. Also, I'm having a hard time really connecting with my 14-year-old. Or, I'm really having a hard time, dealing with some anxiety and depression and some self-worth issues, or I'm finding myself in all this while bullets are going by and it's like a big hot chaotic mess. I would probably say to him, hey man, hey soldier, hey Marine, I love that you're coming to me and you want to do good work on yourself. But homie, buddy, we're in World War I, we're getting shot right now. All we can do right now is just survive. This is not the time and the place to really do work on yourself. We got to get out of this trench. We got to go like relax and get in the spa, the koozie. We got to get in our jammies and get relaxed. And that's the time to do work on yourself. Think about that. When life is good, that's the best time to grow and to learn. Now, you can always grow and you can always learn. The third story I want to tell you, this is the super short version. I'll do a longer video about this another time. How did I respond when my life blew up? Well, it wasn't that long ago. 3 years ago, I had I like to say, personally, I'm not ashamed to say it, I had kind of like a little mini mental health breakdown. I was not taking care of myself. My business was growing and expanding like crazy, and my marriage and my family life was going the other direction. Now, this doesn't really make sense. I'm the family coach, right? If there's anyone who should have a healthy family, it should be me. But those feelings of wanting to lead my family into health and feeling powerless and feeling like all this stuff, and it was so painful. It added to my pain and to my frustration. I wasn't making good choices to balance my life, take care of my own mental health, emotional health, my marriage health, my physical health. How did I respond? Well, I responded in a lot of ways. But to wrap up this live drive, one of the things that happened in my life is that I had a few really good friends. One of his names is Josh. And he looked me in the eye and he told me I was off. I was not making good choices. I needed to really get my life together. How did you respond when your life blew up? Well, what happened with me is that I had surrounded myself with such close friends, good friends. And a good friend is someone like Josh who's willing to look you in the eye and tell you when you're acting like an idiot. An honest friend who's not just going to be there for the good times, but is going to be there for the bad times and going to be there to tell you what's real in your life when you are not thriving. Today I told you 3 personal stories. I told you a story about a woman who practiced vulnerability with strangers. I told you a story about another woman who practiced vulnerability with strangers, and about a man who was me, who had the courage to say in a party setting, we can keep it real, we can be honest. And I told you the story about me, about a super short story about a time when I was not practicing what I was preaching, when I was really suffering, and I had a friend in my life, numerous friends, who had the courage to look me in the eye and say, hey, we got to start with you. Hey, thank you for Rena, who's sharing in. I can't really read it, but you're saying, thank you for being real. Hey, thank you for being real. Please leave me a message, leave me a comment. Partly why I do this is to be social with you. So it encourages me when you leave me a little comment on my page, or when you message me, or when you tell me something. If you watch a whole video of me and you don't leave me a comment, it's kind of like messed up in my opinion. It's like, come on now, give and take. I'll do my part to keep teaching you and sharing stories and giving you tools for free and sharing my life and my work with you. And in exchange, you engage with me through comments or likes or stories or words of encouragement. That is like fuel to me. I love this page. I love the honor of I can turn on a video while I drive my truck and it can be seen by hundreds or even many thousands of people. I love that privilege. I take it seriously. I love music. I don't like that song. My live drives are sometimes very silly and sometimes very serious. Today was serious. Red Hot Chili Peppers is going to close us out. I'm giving you great advice when I say, stay strong, my friends. Be close to the people in your life and teach wisdom to those little ones. Much love to you all. Next Tuesday morning, live drive about the same time. Much love.